Hi, I'm Fatima, and I am your host for this episode of GISEC Global 2025 Cybersecurity Podcast Series. In this episode, I will be joined by Miss Dee Deu. So, Dee, first, thank you so much for coming into this episode. I'm really honored to do this podcast with you, and I'm excited to cover so many interesting topics with you in this conversation.
First of all, thank you for having me. It's brilliant to be here today to be talking all things information security and cyber with you. To introduce myself, I'm Dee, the leader in information security at the group. So thank you.
You're welcome. And yeah, let's dive right into it. Take me to your journey. Why cybersecurity? And tell me about how did you end up in this point of your career in cybersecurity?
It's a really interesting question. And it's something that people ask me a lot. How did you get into information cybersecurity? And my answer is it wasn't by choice. It wasn't something that I really thought of. So I started out my career as a graduate in nearly 20 years ago now, actually. And when I began my journey, it was kind of a development journey from IT. And back then, information security wasn't necessarily a huge topic or front of house as it is now.
That's true. Yeah.
It was very much a back office function, a subsection of IT, not really very well known. And so I've really seen the industry grow and mature over the past 19, 20 years since I've been a part of it. And how I actually joined was I was assessed for a graduate scheme. And as part of that graduate scheme assessment, one of the managers that interviewed me happened to be an information security leader within the organization I was joining. And we had great rapport. And I happened to just have a great conversation with him around identity access management, which is something I'd been doing in my placement year. And as a part of the outcome of that conversation, when I was actually hired into the graduate scheme, he then recruited me into his team. And it just so happened to be information security. Now, as a graduate, I have no idea what information security really does. And it was very much learning on the job, learning about what it is, what it does, different facets of it. So I was in the delivery arm of that. And then from there, my career just seemed to grow. And it was just a natural navigation through various different types of
all clear for you?
Well, not necessarily clear. There were a lot of different elements that I took on board. So when I joined as a security architect. So I was looking at solutions and then architecting information security into our wider IT solutions that we were designing at the time. And I did that for a couple of years and then moved into different roles. I then went into kind of the GRC space, ISO 27001, managing that for clients. So I've had a real mix between technical and the kind of non-technical elements of information security and cyber over my journey. And then started to really hone in on my wider skill set of the kind of how do we bring information cybersecurity to life for people that don't. It's got to be simplified. It's got to be, it isn't something that is complex.
True.
And I feel that it's actually part of a leader's role is to demystify, simplify, and make it really easy for anyone to be able to understand and do, because it is. So yeah, and from there I kind of moved into different leadership positions and honed in my leadership skills, and then became head of and CISO over the kind of course of the next 10 years. So that's really been my journey, through different roles, learning technical and non-technical, understanding the industry, going on the maturity journey with the industry, and then kind of ending up where I am today. So yeah.
It's actually very exciting. And you mentioned something like demystifying information security, and with the space where you are in right now, where it's a customer-centric industry.
Yeah.
And most of the customers are not actually very familiar with what's information security. It's sometimes a jargon for them.
Yeah.
Or it could be like a very technical thing that they don't want to hear about.